pulled in out of 6.
Look! Holy shit! Scramble! Damn it!
You take the bombers. I'll handle the escorts. I'm on them. Got him. On your six! No, no, no! You're gonna pay, chap. You're gonna pay.
Well, that was the very stirring opening to Dogfight 1942. I'm sorry, I mean Dogfight 1942, developed by Shitty Interactive. Again, excuse my French, or I should say Polish. City Interactive, makers of some of the worst gaming content ever to be seen on the face of the earth. Yes, I'm looking at you, Sniper Art of Victory. So I think two pieces of context are important here on why I'm doing this video. The first one is that I just finished playing Half-Life Blue Shift and I wanted something to play for a couple of hours or so. And I realised I hadn't played a flight sim arcade style type game for quite some time, so I thought I'd get this little baby out, and because I'd bought it about 200 years ago and never touched it. The other piece of context is that I will always compare all not flight simulators, flight arcade simulators, which are obviously a different style, to Heroes of the Pacific, my all-time favourite flight type game of that style. And not just my opinion, I would objectively put it up against any other game of its type and fight it to the hilt that game is better than any of the shit that's come out since. So that game came out in 2005, I believe. This game came out 7 years later, and my god. Anyway, this is not a game review. This is not meant to be a game review. This is just a pile of shit that I've had to deal with to get this game to work since pressing play and playing and finishing the tutorial. So we'll start with issue number 1. So when you click play, you get two options. You get play Dogfight or go into the Dogfight settings. I will come to the Dogfight settings later on. But yeah, it doesn't matter which one you pick, it will always go through the DirectX installation process no matter what. Which brings me on to number 2, the game intro, which you cannot skip. I've pressed every key on the keyboard and you cannot skip it. The normal resource for this kind of stuff, you would immediately go to PC Gaming Wiki, but unfortunately there's nothing on there either. So number 3, the most egregious of the 3 issues so far. First one I can deal with, the fact that the DirectX installation every single time. At least the game launches, not a problem with that really, get over it. Number 2 though, with the never-ending intro and having to sit through all that nonsense every single time you want to start the game, yeah, that becomes a pain, and for a particular reason which I will mention later on as well, that will also become an immense source of frustration. Right, so we're on to number 3, which is the control scheme. Yeah, you can play this game keyboard and mouse, and you can use a controller. So I tried playing the game with keyboard and mouse, as I always try and do, but you actually need 3 hands. Yeah. So WSA and D, speed, and turning left and right, and slowing down. In order to roll the aircraft to do a nice turn, left or right, you have to use the arrow keys. Fantastic. And to take off as well, and to land. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. So, but you also need the mouse, of course, to shoot your guns and to aim and stuff like that. So, you know, something that's really not important. I did have a go at it, and my PC went through the window straight away, and that was just on the tutorial. Now, according to PC Gaming Wiki, the absolute bible for the glorious PC Master Race on anything PC gaming, it clearly states there is remapping available. Whether that's keyboard and mouse, or mouse only or keyboard only, I don't know, but it does say keyboard and mouse there as well. So I can only assume it was both. So let's get into the settings and have a look, shall we? Yep, so here we are. Got a couple of screenshots of the how to play and the settings, and in neither of them does it say that there's an option to change the settings. Not even anything about changing it from keyboard and mouse settings to if you wanted to play with the controller or a gamepad or a joystick or anything like that. Nothing in there whatsoever. There is actually a config file in the game installation folder, but if you go into it, open it with Notepad, you go into it, there's just the basic controls that you see in the normal settings. You don't get any further information as to any kind of changing key configs or gamepad configs at all. So I was sitting there with less hair than I had before, and the many times that I'd sparked up the game, I did notice this writing on the screen, but didn't pay any particular attention to it. But for this one reason, I decided to have a look. There it is, as clear as day. Some Polish hieroglyphics. What on earth does that mean? I mean, why on earth would I get Polish writing in playing the game in English? I know it's a Polish developer, but obviously there's some kind of issue, error or glitch gone on here. It hasn't pulled through the full English translation properly. I mean, it's got the word enter there. I'm sure the Polish have a word for enter. So yeah, I decided to take that what was written on the screen and put it into Google Translate, and let's see what we came up with. So yeah, there it is in all its wonderful Slavic glory. Reconnect the controller or press enter. Wow. If only I'd have known that before. So if you press enter, it goes into the game and you play it keyboard and mouse. If you haven't got a controller already plugged in, or if you already have a controller that's already plugged in, but if you then unplug it and plug it back in, voila, the game recognizes the controller. So before going on to the final issue number 4, just a bit about the settings. As I said in the at the beginning, I'll get back to it. That yeah, if you can see in the bottom left hand corner that dialog box that comes up after you choose the Dogfight settings option to launch the game, it takes you to there where it says player 1, player 2, because you can play this game co-op, I believe. I have not tested it, and I'm hoping to test it, and I believe it's not online co-op but local co-op. But as you know, with Steam you can do the local co-op thing over the internet now. So that is yet to be tested by me, so I have no idea if that works. But the setting in the game, which should set you up to play controller with the game, doesn't actually fucking work. So last but not least, issue number 4, which is a do not do, or try and remember to not do. If you are ever on the main menu screen, which looks like this, do not, I repeat, do not press the escape button if you are playing keyboard and mouse, or the back button if you are playing on the controller, because as it rightly says, escape means quit. Now that's not quit with a dialog box pops up and says, are you sure you really want to quit, or you know, have 2 or 3 goes as to if you want to quit or not. Nothing comes up at all. If you press the back button on a controller or the escape button on the keyboard, it will just quit the game, and that's it. And then, oh yes, to get back in the game, you've got to go through all that intro again. Ain't that fun? But on a positive note, at least the game has language and violence. Well, ladies and gents, I hope some of this was informative or whatever. It's just from my sort of my nonsense in trying to play this game and not watch the game intro again for the 50 millionth time, trying to sort things out. But hopefully, yeah, it's been of some use to you. So thanks very much, and catch you again in the next one.
You're in for a world of